I grew up in the Barossa, so I was always around winemaking, so to speak. Family and friends who were in the industry. Well, I didn't originally set out to become a winemaker. Post school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. After school, I went down and started a different degree in international banking and finance. That didn't resonate with me. And then just on a whim, I thought winemaking would be the way to go. So it started very small, and then I suppose at a point in time, I went down the rabbit hole. There was at one point I was really questioning what was I doing. During my first vintage, I was like, week one, I was sitting in bed almost crying because this industry is really hard. During vintage, it's kind of an emotional roller coaster. But at the end of the day, I'm a winemaker, but I'm a wine enthusiast. What has become a profession is also a real passion. Well, I started here in October of 19. I was very much vintage on the doorstep. I basically looked in the winery and thought, what immediate changes could I make that would positively impact going forward? And then from there, what can I do in the future that will also aid quality outcomes? Extra tight grain selection, more premium barrels. Our oak philosophy is, as an average, more than 20 or 25%. And then after vintage was about sitting down and immediately saying what things can we do to then improve quality. So changing the way we pressed, implementing the basket press, which I find gives a lot more gentle, elongated tannin. And I think that speaks clearly in the wines you see. To me, when I look at the blending bench, is about finalising your classification. At that point, I drill down what can perhaps make the blend better. So we look at a lot of different scenarios, adding a little bit of another variety. What about if we eliminate these slightly lesser characters or barrels? So classification is the overarching, and then the blending bench is to refine those cuvées. What's the best looking of that type? Most of the varieties that we grow, I like in different scenarios. I do have a real affinity for old vine Grenache though. I think the Cabernet that we grow here, generally I think exceptional Cabernet resonates more to me than exceptional Shiraz on a general level. Most of the things here that we grow here, I like in different scenarios. You have to wear many hats as a winemaker. I think a lot of people will have an impression that you come and drink wine every day. But the reality is, during vintage, we need to be logistics managers. We need to have good organisation. It's that idea of crafting something, and every year puts up new challenges. And I think I like that aspect of problem solving. I think every day is something new. There's a lot of diversity in this job. What drives me as a winemaker is knowing people get enjoyment out of your product. I think that's, when you distill it down, it's as simple as that. You create something that people enjoy, and I think you get immense satisfaction out of that when that does come to fruition. You don't do it for the awards or accolades. It's simply to create something that people love, and I think that's kind of resonates with me the most.